Hi guys, it's Leslie Suarez, part of the Gene Frederick leadership team at eXp Realty. Today we're here to learn a little bit more about BoldTrail. Hopefully we'll have some fun together. But the first thing that we're going to do is make sure that you're logged in. I'm currently on my dashboard. We're going to learn today about what squeeze pages are and how they can really boost your business. So when you're on your dashboard, you will see a More button at the bottom. When you click there, this separate page will open up and you will see some options. You have marketing, lead engine, marketplace, all of these great things. So we're going to click on lead engine. See that funnel where it's bringing leads in? That's what we're going to focus on today with squeeze pages. So as you come to your lead engine tools, I will tell you that there are some paid features in BoldTrail that you can take advantage of if you'd like to, like property boost for your listings or even other people's listings. Getting more leads for paid leads. But then there are some things that you can do yourself to increase your leads. Two of the options are build a landing page or build a squeeze page. Both of these are free features in BoldTrail. Building a landing page is essentially an informational site. And the reason why it has the nickname landing page is people will land on that page, get the information that they need, and leave. So that's a landing page. It's an informational site. Versus this one over here, which is a squeeze page, is actually a website that is meant to squeeze information out of the person that's on the website. So yes, it's giving them information like a landing page does, but it's also asking them for information. And this is where BoldTrail's AI and new technology can really come into play, because it's going to pull their information and create a database about them. So as far as when you're trying to build a CRM or get more of a database, I strongly believe that squeeze pages are the way to go. So how to do it? It's going to say, please select a domain. You're going to have your domain name as an option. You'll click on that and then click Start Building. It's going to bring you to this page. This page now has 5 different types of squeeze pages. And that's pretty exciting because I've been using squeeze pages with BoldTrail, KV Core, Conversion way back in the day, and we've always only had 4 options. And this past week, a 5th option came out. So we're going to go over what these options are. We're going to start off with a single property squeeze page. Single property squeeze pages and seller squeeze pages are the 2 easiest squeeze pages to build. But a single property squeeze page would be for you to be able to share your listings or share about one specific property. So you can either choose your own listings. So I could type out my address of one of my properties and it's going to auto-populate from the list. So then I could choose that one. And actually I'm going to choose one that's not mine in the community where I have a listing, so I can show you a little differentiation when it's your listing or somebody else's. So I'm going to go ahead and choose one that's not my listing. The next question that it's going to ask you is, where are you going to post this? So when it says source, it says, where is this going to be sourced from? And so you have lots of different options as to where you can post these squeeze pages. You have all of the different social media options like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, the @ for threads. There's lots of different options. You can also do paid ads on Google. So if you wanted to do a Google pay-per-click ad, this would be a great form to do it in. I don't typically recommend for realtors to do Google pay-per-click leads because it is one of the more expensive as far as the return on investment. So I really would recommend that you stick to those free options like Facebook, but there's also Craigslist and a lot of other places that you can post links, chat groups. So you can really open your mind to different places that you can put these. But I'm going to go with FB for Facebook. We're going to keep it simple for right now. And the next thing down is going to say, what is the hashtag? So if this is somebody else's listing, I might put that person's name as a hashtag, so that way when I see this hashtag come in, oops, hello, I don't need a hashtag in the front of that. See, even I make mistakes, and I've been using this platform for a long time. But essentially I can add these hashtags so that way if I see it, I know where it came from, and it just gives me like an extra piece of information on a new lead. So it doesn't hurt to have hashtags. You can even have multiples. So I've given the information on the left-hand side, and now it's going to give me the information on the right-hand side when I click Generate Link. So it's going to give you a longer link and then a shorter link. Both of them work just fine, especially if you're going to be posting to Facebook or somewhere where you're not doing a paid ad. But if you are doing paid ads, you might want to grab that long link. But essentially, you can grab this short link right here. I'm going to go ahead and go into Facebook just to show you how you can post this. And actually, I'm forgetting one step, and it's one of my biggest tips about squeeze pages, is that you always have to paste it before you post it. So I strongly encourage you to go to somewhere and make sure that the listing looks good. So for example, this property doesn't look right. This is not what I would want to have shared to social media. So this is a great example of why you want to post it into an empty web browser before you paste it to social media. So this one didn't work so great, so let's do a different one. Let's actually do my own then. Let's see, this one will be mine. So I'm going to do generate link. Again, we can just copy and we're going to paste it into an empty web browser. Oops. It's funny I can't see paste right now, but I'm going to assume that that's paste. And let's try that. I love how things when you're sharing screens is on one screen. So let's see if that comes through. Give it 1 second and it's going to show you this property. So this one is actually my listing. It will show you the pictures of the property. You can scroll through. It gives you the listing description, the address, the HOA information, the school information, pretty much everything that's on the MLS is going to be here. You can literally scroll and scroll and scroll and find so much information about the property. Some cool things that are on this website is that it will ask people to save it. So if somebody saves it, it's going to ask them to log in and create a portfolio. I've already logged in on my website. They can also chat with you directly. They can send you a question. They can request a showing. They can print the flyer. They can share it to social media, share it on Twitter, Pinterest, whatever. There are so many things that they can do with this. Then as they scroll down, it's going to say your realtor is this person, but it also will say that it's then listed by this person. So know that if it's not your listing, it still follows the compliance of your state by listing what brokerage it is listed by, but you're the only contact information. So if they want to request a showing, you're the only realtor that they're going to be calling if they're on your website. So this is for a single property squeeze page. This can be used for your own listings, but I also use it to advertise other people's listings. So right now, most of my listings are actually under contract. So if I wanted to build a single family squeeze or single property squeeze page, I would probably reach out to a colleague and say, hey, I just saw that you did this price reduction on your listing. Would you mind if I advertised it for you? And then I would come in here, type out the address, build that squeeze page. So again, this can be used for your listings or other people's listings, but use it to build a bridge with others. I strongly encourage you to get permission to share those listings because it will build relationships, and it can also help with recruiting a little bit with EXP, because then people are saying, how are you advertising my listings and getting more leads than I am? So a great feature is definitely to advertise other realtors' properties with their written permission. The next one over is the seller squeeze page. I will put a disclaimer that this is different in the United States than it is in Canada. So if you are a Canadian using BoldTrail, this is not as effective as in the United States, because in Canada you can't do internet valuations the same way that you can in the US. So it still works, and people will be able to send you their address so that then you can send them a valuation or you can call them, but it won't automatically send them a valuation the way that it does in the United States. But if you are a US BoldTrail user, there is a seller squeeze page. This one is really helpful because you actually can just put a wide net out there to see who's curious what their house is worth and just kind of get some feelers. So for this one, I would put FB for Facebook. For hashtags, I might put Boca seller or seller squeeze, because then if I see it, I know that they came to my website to see how much their home is worth. And then I can put in Boca Raton. You know, I can put in any location, or you can leave this blank. But I'm going to go ahead and put the city of Boca Raton. So I've put in 3 pieces of information. And then I click on this green button here, and it gives me the link. I'm going to copy it and paste it into an empty web browser before I post it to social media. This one should be a very simple website that will say, find out what your Boca Raton home is worth. The average home estimate is 1.81 million. Yes, it's an expensive area. Please enter your address to get your valuation. So if somebody were to enter in their address right here, we're going to go ahead and just put in one of my listing addresses, and it will automatically populate. So if I were to put in that address and do next, it will ask me to sign in. It's going to say, are you this person? Please sign in. So I can put in my information, or sometimes people will exit out and just leave your website from that point. So if somebody leaves your website but they have typed in their address, the next time that you go to your contacts, you will see an address and there won't be a name. So if you ever go to your contacts and you see an address and there's no other information, you're like, how do I just have an address in here? It's because they went to your website, typed out their address so that they could see how much their home is worth, but then decided not to give you any of their other information. So those people are great people to either go door knocking to or reach out to. So just because it's only their address doesn't mean that it's not still an amazing resource to somebody that might be looking to sell their home. However, if they take it one step further, and they sign in and they consent to emails, they will be able to see how much their home is worth. So it'll say your home is currently worth this much. I actually have it under contract for somewhere between these numbers, so I love that. But it'll say your property is worth this much. Reach out to Leslie for more information. Here's more information about Leslie. Here's more information about properties that are either active right now or have recently sold. So it does give them a lot of information about their property, but it encourages them to reach out to you, the realtor, to get more information. So it's just telling people this is based on statistical models, and that they do encourage you to have a realtor come to your house to be able to give you a better home estimate. So again, you can post this one to Facebook if you wanted to. So if you wanted to post this to Facebook, you could really just hit paste and it will copy that link. A couple tips that I do recommend about adding these squeeze pages to Facebook, so whether it's a single property, a multi-property, any of the squeeze pages, when you share squeeze pages to social media, I strongly encourage you to change your audience from friends to public. And it can just be for this post. You don't have to set it for every post. It's just this post. But that way, if somebody sees this post, they can share it. And what I'd even do is maybe put some spaces in there and say, curious how much your home is currently worth in this changing market. And obviously it helps if I spell everything right. You could even throw in a couple emojis in there if you wanted to. Like I normally throw in the eyeballs or a picture of a house. I know it sounds silly, but having emojis in there does actually help just a little bit. So you can add in whatever you want and then post it. When you do next, it'll make sure that you're posting it to who you want. It'll also go to my Instagram because of how I have my Instagram and my Facebook set up. But this way people can actually go to, they'll see it in their newsfeed, like curious how much your home is worth, type in your address. So very, very useful. Now coming back into BoldTrail, we've gone over the single property for your listing or other people's listings, seller squeeze pages to get people that might be interested in selling their home. There is also a market squeeze page, a market report squeeze page, so you can actually type in a specific area. I'm going to type in Boca Raton. It'll give me all of the neighborhoods, but I can also choose just the city of Boca Raton. And then I'm going to put FB for Facebook. And for the market reports, I actually put the hashtag of market report squeeze. Because again, it's just a label that's going to be added to this person in their database so that you know that they were curious in a market report. So if you were to post this one to social media, just to show you what the link looks like first, when you come in here, it'll give you a market report for whichever area you set it for. So this one says homes in Boca Raton. And it's going to tell you that there are 3,805 homes for sale, that there are a few less new to the market than there were last month, that the average days on the market is 88 days, that the average market price is this much, the average sold price is this much. They can look at some of the sold listings as well as subscribe to their own market report so that way they get more information. So if I were to go back to BoldTrail and go to my contacts, sometimes you'll see that somebody has a market report that you did not add, and it's because they asked for it. So they wanted more information, and it will send them on a monthly basis. So know that this is a great just informational thing that you can post to social media so that people can see some stats. You can also do it by county, so it doesn't have to be a specific city. I can actually put in Palm Beach County and do it as a whole county, which I think is a little bit more valuable when you're posting it to social media. So either of those would work. To kind of show you what the link would look like if I were to post it to Facebook. If I were to do a post like this, and again, I would change it to public rather than friends, but it will give you a little thumbnail picture and say free real estate market report for Palm Beach County, and people can click on that. And again, you can post it to different chat groups, different areas, and get more people that are actually subscribing to your information out of their own volition. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this post because I don't want to be posting 80 squeeze pages on my social media today. People might unfriend me, so I try to post something different and not too often. But now my two favorite squeeze pages are the multi-property, and then they took the multi-property and they made it that much better. They actually gave you the ability to run a squeeze page for sold properties in a specific area. So this is great to send to your sellers. It's great to send to different people. But it is a really, really great tool to show you what has actually sold on the market, not just for sale. So I find that both of these are really useful, but in different ways. So let's do the multi-property. So if I run this squeeze page, it's going to show me all of the properties that are for sale in whatever parameters I set. So I can do it by location. I can draw on a map. I can do listing types. It's kind of like being in the MLS where you're able to actually go through and make some changes. So let's build a squeeze page together. This one's the most fun to build because you can have such outlandish results. And I'll show you what I mean by that in just a moment. So if I were to do Boca Raton for this one, for the area, I'm going to do the city of Boca Raton. Then listing types, let's do single family homes. But I could do single family homes and townhouses. Let's stick to both of those. I can choose a style. I can choose a price range. Let's do under $2 million. Is that the right amount of zeros? Yes, it is. I can also choose square feet, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms. I can choose different options, like I can choose properties with a pool, properties that are waterfront, properties that are distressed, properties with no HOA fees. There are tons of different options that I can put in here. So let's choose just listed for right now. Then I'm going to scroll back up to the top because I do have to put in more information on the right hand side. Over here on the right hand side, you're going to be able to put in the source, which is FB for Facebook. And again, if you're posting it to Craigslist or Google, you would write those things in instead. And then for hashtags, I'm going to do buyer in Boca. But again, you can write anything you want. And so I'm going to actually do generate link. It will give me the link again. And as always, I'm going to paste it somewhere before I'm going to post it so that I can make sure it's something I'd be proud to put on social media. Now, this one is actually the most important one to check because sometimes you'll have 0 results and sometimes you'll have 800 results. And I kind of find that if you have anywhere from 5 to 25, which we're really close actually with 28, I was expecting us to have more results than that by just doing just listed. But with 28 homes, that's a reasonable amount of homes for people to look through. If you have less than 5, they're going to get bored and stop looking and not really utilize your website. If you have more than 25 or 30, you're really getting to the point where it's almost too much for them to look through. It's almost overwhelming. So I find that anywhere from 5 to 25 gives you really great results as far as when you share that to social media. So say I wanted to share this one to social media. I would come into Facebook and we're going to start over again. Let's go here, delete that. We're going to paste it, and it will come up with an image for one of the properties that's included in this search result. Again, I want to change this from friends to public, which if you are posting this to a professional page, it will always be public. But if it's your personal page, you do want to make sure that it is public so that other people can share it, because people sharing this will make a big difference in the amount of leads that you get. So if I was going to post this one, I would say looking I don't know, I might say looking to make Boca Raton home. Here are a few homes that were just listed for under $2 million. Check it out, and do that call to action. Or I can also come in here and change this to be homes that rather than Boca Raton, I could have it zoned to a certain school. So one of the things that I like to do, and I don't do it all the time, but I will run a search that's zoned to my kid's school, and I'm a part of those groups on social media. So sometimes I'll take these listings and post those to our group so that way I can say, hey guys, looking to have a friend or a family member join our school district, here's a list of homes that you can share. And I find that actually gets me a lot of shares. So I'm going to do generate link. It's going to give me a different link, and let's see how many this gave me. So this one only gave me 3. So I actually wouldn't want to post this one. I'd actually want it to be a few more. So maybe I would want to change this from 2 million to 2.5 million, because it's just not enough homes. Our price tags are pretty high here, and it's just not enough homes for people to have a variety of things to search for. So again, we're going to just double check. I changed that dollar amount. Now it's to a higher dollar amount. And still only 3 homes? No way. Okay, let's try this. Let's go to $4 million. And then generate link. We're going to copy this one. And it's just to show you how you can get a huge variety of results depending on what your search results are. I think that I'm actually having a little bit of a glitch because I've done copy and paste so much. So I apologize, guys. Let's copy the long link. It keeps pasting the same link. And it's just because sometimes when I've done this many searches, BoldTrail does not love me. So sorry, you're seeing a technical glitch in BoldTrail because I've been building so many squeeze pages. But if I were to exit out of BoldTrail and reopen BoldTrail, I would not continue to have this problem. So no, if you ever get to the point where it's not giving you a new link or you're kind of hitting a glitch, exit out of BoldTrail. You can do this pretty simply. Go to your apps, log back into BoldTrail, and we will go back into lead engine for squeeze page. You're going to choose your domain and do start building. So now I'm here back at that multi-property squeeze page. I could try again and it would give me that better link. But I want to jump over to the sold multi-property squeeze pages. This is the last of all the different types of squeeze pages that you can build. But again, it's a really cool informational site, especially for people that live in specific neighborhoods. So I could do it by zip code, for example, and do this zip code. Do listing types. Let's do single family homes. I could do condos, all sorts of stuff. I could then again put that it's going to be on Facebook for hashtags sold squeeze, because again, if I see this, it just gives me more information, like how did I get this lead. Those are important pieces of information to have. Oh, and I have not had enough caffeine today because that's the second time I've gone to put the hashtag symbol in there, and I do not need it. You just put in the actual words, not the symbol. So we're going to do generate link, and let's see, it's going to tell us how many homes have sold in this specific zip code. So I'm going to take this one. I don't know if I copied it, so let's make sure I did. Let's copy this link. We're going to come over here and paste it. And give it 1 second. So it's actually 316 homes. So that would be a lot of information to put out there. I might want to narrow it down. For example, if I was going to post this to my neighborhood group, I might actually open up a map and go to my area and draw on the map so that way I can get a very, very specific, sorry, I have to scroll really far down. I live at the bottom of Florida. It's so far. There's Boca. So I could actually zoom in over and over again until I get to a specific neighborhood and I can draw on that map. So I'm actually zooming into my entire page by accident. So you can draw a specific area and highlight it. This would obviously be a huge area, but then it would be this and going in there. So then I could regenerate I'm actually going to not only do that, but let's also put in homes for over $10 million. That's 1 million. One more zero. So $10 million. So let's generate that link. And one of the reasons why this is fun is because you could post this to social media saying, hey, curious what sold in Boca Raton for over $10 million? Oh, and I guess nothing has. That's kind of a bummer. I thought it would have. So let's make this, let me make sure that I don't have that map on there. I don't. So let's do all of Boca actually. So again, it's a matter of like trial and error with these. I'm looking for the city of Boca. Sorry, guys. There we go. So city of Boca Raton, single family homes that have sold for over 10 million. Let's generate that link. And again, we can paste it somewhere. I know this is a little bit redundant, but if you're still watching this class, I'm guessing it's because you've had some problems. So hopefully this is helpful for you to see how I edit these searches over and over again. But essentially this has given me 56 homes. So I could do a post to Facebook like, I would actually do something along the lines of curious to see the biggest homes that have sold in Boca Raton and type that out. And obviously I'm going to do spell check a little bit better. But then we would paste it, and it's going to give you an image of one of those homes. So this is really good clickbait to get people to, sorry, it's taking a second to download, but it's really good clickbait to get people to see what homes are for sale. And they'll be brought to this website. It'll give them the stats. It'll tell them how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, what the total number of homes that sold, how many sold in the past 30 days, how long they sat on the market. It is so much information. So I hope that this has helped you with a little bit more information about how you can push to get more leads from social media or some of those outside sources. Don't forget, you also have chat groups that you can utilize, but you can put up a multi-property squeeze page, which is great for helping or finding buyers, a sold multi-property, which is great for really buyers or sellers. Everybody likes to know what's been sold and what sold for what. So it's just a really cool looky-loo type of squeeze page that you can throw out there on your social media. You have the single property, which is great for your listings or even other realtors' listings, but I do encourage you to get written permission prior to advertising other realtors' properties. You never want to get into a little bit of a tiffle or piffle. And then the next one is the seller squeeze page for them to be able to type in their address and see how much their home is worth. And last but not least is a market report for them to just kind of take a survey of what's going on in that market. So lots and lots of different ways that you can throw information out there and get more leads. I would encourage you that if you get really good at these and you're doing them regularly, that every once in a while maybe you boost your posts through Facebook, because these really can bring in a lot of leads. My seller squeeze page, I did spend $40 on Facebook way back in the day, and I was able to bring in a lead per dollar. So that was a great way to kind of kickstart my business. So there are lots of tools, lots of resources. I hope this video was helpful. Please subscribe. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. I do come back and check, and I will answer those questions for you. Have a great day. Make it a little bit bolder, a little bit brighter. Bye, guys.